The H1B guy here, and today the H1B guy clarifies. What does the travel ban being temporarily lifted actually mean? But before we get started, I'd like to ask you, if you haven't already, to please subscribe to the H1B guy channel here on YouTube. It helps me to produce more content like this for you. I also wanted to mention that the H1B guy offers consulting services in the form of one-to-one or one-to-many. If I can help you with any document or evidence review and overall case management, please reach out to me. I'd love to hear how I can help you. In an article written by Elliot Spagat for the Associated Press titled "Judge Blocks Parts of Temporary Work Visa Ban," quote, a judge on Thursday temporarily lifted a visa ban on a large number of work permits, undercutting a measure that the Trump administration says protects American jobs in a pandemic-wrecked economy. U.S. District Judge Jeffrey White said his ruling applied to members of the organizations that sued the administration: the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, National Association of Manufacturers, National Retail Federation, TechNet, a technology industry group, and Intrax Inc., which sponsors cultural exchanges. I originally covered this lawsuit on the H1B Guy News for the week ending July 24th, 2020, and again on the H1B Guy Ponders. Will the H1B travel ban be upheld or a preliminary injunction ruled? I've questioned whether or not the president's authority that's given in 212N1 would be upheld in a court of law, as it actually is Congress's job to regulate immigration, not the president's. Back to the article. Quote, White, ruling in Oakland, California, said his order didn't extend beyond those groups, but he noted that they are comprised of hundreds of thousands of American businesses of all sizes from a cross-section of economic sectors, including Microsoft Corp. And Amazon.com Inc. Very interesting interpretation, and one that should be clarified. Yes, the judge's order does lift the temporary travel ban, but only for groups listed in the lawsuit. The order is definitely not a blanket ruling, and it still leaves thousands of non immigrants located outside of the U.S. in limbo. Back to the article. Quote, the judge wrote, there must be some measure of constraint on presidential authority in the domestic sphere in order not to render the executive an entirely monarchical power in the immigration context, an area within clear legislative prerogative. Here, Judge White is interpreting the law as written, as we also have interpreted it. Does the president have the executive authority to restrict legal immigration? As I've stated, that answer is no. It is the job of Congress to regulate immigration. Back to the article. Quote, it was the second time in 3 days that White blocked a significant change on immigration. On Tuesday, he halted major fee increases for citizenship and other benefits 3 days before they were to take effect. On September 30th, 2020, USCIS posted a news release titled USCIS Response to Preliminary Injunction of Fee Rule. Quote, USCIS Deputy Director of Policy Joseph Edlow issued the following statement. This unfortunate decision leaves USCIS underfunded by millions of dollars each business day the fee rule is enjoined. Unlike most government agencies, USCIS is fee-funded. As required by federal law, USCIS conducted a comprehensive biennial fee review and determined that current fees do not recover the cost of providing adjudication and naturalization services. This is nothing new or abnormal. In fact, the fee rule is 2 years behind schedule and is a smaller percentage increase than the previous. In a fee-funded agency such as USCIS, this increase is necessary to continue operations in any long-term, meaningful way to ensure cost recovery. This decision, barring USCIS from enacting its mandatory fee increase, is unprecedented and harmful to the American people. As I previously covered the USCIS news release from July 31st, 2020, titled USCIS Adjusts Fees to Help Meet Operational Needs, I discussed this was going to be USCIS's plan to overcome the projected budget deficit. Pretty sure that everyone saw this coming. And that the three interesting takeaways I had were one, a 20% increase in all filing fees, two, a $10 reduction of electronic filing when applicable, and three, first fee increase since 2016, which was 21% increase at the time. And that it was no surprise to see the continued increase of the fee-based model, which accounts for 97% of USCIS's total operational budget. Deputy Director Edlow closed his statement by claiming the decision to be unprecedented and harmful to the American people. I have to ask, where are the millions of dollars in fees that USCIS collects on an annual basis being allocated? I'm not saying I'm for or against a fee increase, but I will say I am all for a digital electronic system that will help reduce cost and time. The concept of digital transformation may, however, be lost on USCIS. Back to the article. Quote, the National Association of Manufacturers, which represents 1,400 companies, said the ruling will help with, quote, crucial, hard to fill jobs to support economic recovery, growth, and innovation when we most need it. Today's decision is a temporary win for manufacturers committed to building that innovation in the United States, said Linda Kelly, the group's senior vice president and general counsel. A long-term win for manufacturers requires policymakers to support meaningful reforms to our immigration laws that recognize the critical link between smart immigration policy and America's competitive advantage. Again, just to reiterate, this is not the end for every non-immigrant located outside of the U.S. It only applies to the thousands of companies listed in the lawsuit. However, the anti-H-1Bers out there will disagree with Ms. Kelly's statement of, quote, crucial, hard to fill jobs to support economic recovery, growth, and innovation when we need it most. Regardless of what side you find yourself on, here are thousands of employers claiming that temporary foreign high-skilled workers are necessary for the survival of their business. I see this as a step in the right direction. Restricting legal immigration into the U.S. will create significant future ramifications towards job and economic growth. This impact will not be seen immediately, but will have a gradual, lasting impact. And finishing up with the article, quote, with Congress and the White House deadlocked on immigration, Trump has reshaped the system on his own. The Migration Policy Institute recently cataloged more than 400 executive actions during his presidency to change policy, including border enforcement, asylum eligibility, and vetting for visas. Many of Trump's changes on immigration are challenged in court. It is unclear how many Joe Biden would roll back if he defeats Trump in November's election or how quickly he would act. It really is mind-blowing to say that out loud. 400 executive actions on immigration from President Trump. With S-386 remaining blocked in the Senate, there has been very little change to the U.S. immigration system by Congress during President Trump's term. Instead, through a series of executive actions, our immigration system has been reshaped by the president and his administration. Unfortunately, the merit-based immigration system agenda that President Trump championed during his 2016 campaign has only been a blip on the radar during the 2017 Senate season when the Cotton Bill was introduced. As is always the case, once a president's term is ended, the incoming president typically modifies several of the previous president's executive actions. If former Vice President Joe Biden were to win the election, you would think that it would be a given for him to alter several of the immigration changes President Trump has enacted. But will he do it if he wins as being currently predicted by 538? That is the question. For the full post, please check out the H1BGuy.com. I also wanted to mention that tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, mark your calendars. Please join me for another round of the H1B Guy Live, unedited, unscripted Q&A round 4. Tomorrow we'll cover the October Visa Bulletin, H1B, 386, and more. If you haven't already, I'd like to ask you to please like this video, subscribe to the H1B Guy channel here on YouTube, and click the bell for notifications so that you're notified anytime a new video is posted here on this channel. If you've made it this far, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to watch my content. I really appreciate your support. The H1B Guy, your global source for all things H1B.